They like the Judas was to Jesus. They only here to cause confusion.
That was my little brother. His code name was Machiavelli, like mine is Simon. And if you know the story of Machiavelli, he faked his own death.
Over and over again, they never make it obvious, but what they're doing is they're revisiting the story of Jesus. Pac bringing up Judas. Suge saying that Pac was his little brother and his name is Simon. Simon was the brother of Jesus, who he renamed Peter. And Peter is Peter Rabbit, metaphorically the devil, and that's why Suge, his role is also as the devil, and many people in the industry call him that. My video about Peter Rabbit and Peter the Rock is the second one from the top of the list. Suge's name is Simon because Jesus renamed his brother Simon Peter, Peter the Rock. People come on my channel and they think I'm Bible thumping them, but no. I listened to all the Tupac music, I watched all the interviews, and I realized that they were Bible thumping us with a deciphered version of the story. Listen carefully and check this out.
I had absolutely no idea that not everybody was taught this. A friend of mine and I were talking the other day, and he was mentioning about how him and his brother have different dads, and I was like, yeah, like Cain and Abel. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, man, Cain wasn't Adam's son. Were you not taught that? And he's like, no, where did you get that from? And I'm like, Genesis 3. And I'm like, surely you don't think that Eve eating an actual piece of fruit would open her eyes to being naked, do you? So I pull out my trusty King James. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. Now this word subtle means cunning. Now, of course, the serpent is Satan. He's rapping with Eve, and he's telling her, like, listen, God said not to eat of every tree because he doesn't want you to be wise. Now, this word tree is etz in the Hebrew, which means a tree of that nature, and the base root of that word means the backbone of the body. Your arms and legs are your limbs.
And it's up to the world. You know, America eats its babies.
There's a whole bunch of these evil people out here doing this, y'all. Say Cain and Abel together. Cannibal. Cannibals.
3:6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food and that it was pleasant to the eyes and a tree to be desired to make one wise.
To make one wise because you don't really die. Ye shall not surely die. Think about this, you guys, for real.
And it goes on to say that she took the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat, and the eyes of both of them were open, and they knew they were naked. Now, of course, once they knew they were naked, they were ashamed, they hid themselves from God, and when God came calling, he was like, hey, what's going on here? And Adam tries to push it off onto Eve, like, hey, that woman you gave me, she gave me the fruit of the tree, and I ate of it. And God looks to Eve like, what is this that you have done? And she's like, the serpent beguiled me. Now, this word beguiled in the Hebrew is aspatia, which means wholly seduced, body and mind. And the woman said, the serpent wholly seduced me, and I did eat. Now, at this point, of course, God curses the serpent and says that you are cursed above every beast of the field. But he also goes on to say, I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Now that's, of course, a prophecy to the coming Christ. Now, of course, God pushes Adam and Eve out of the Garden of Eden, and it says that Adam knew his wife Eve, and she bare Cain, and again bare Abel. But this word again means to continue in labor, which means that they were twins in the womb, but she was a victim of a second pregnancy, one by Adam and one by Satan.
Mama said the seed was corrupted, used to rub her belly, begging us to breathe, and she loved us.
Damn blunt.
Niggas be tripping.
Pee-wee. Twin brother, give us the lowdown on that. We really don't know. We've been
Twin brother.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that the very existence of Cain and Abel proves this. You see, God found favor with Abel and not Cain. And of course, Cain wasn't feeling this. He rises up and he slays Abel. And God comes calling again, asks Cain, hey, where's your brother? And Cain, I don't know, am I my brother's keeper? He's like, listen, bro, your brother's blood calls to me from the earth. So God puts a mark on Cain, and he goes on to find a wife somewhere, which is a conversation for another video, seeing as how most people believe at this point that Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel are the only people on earth. And all of this is tied up in a neat little bow when you go on to read the genealogy of Adam. This is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that God created man, in the likeness of God made he him. Male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam. In the day when they were created, and Adam lived 130 years, and begat a son in his own likeness, after his image, and called his name Seth. Now, of course, that's because Cain had already killed Abel, so Abel had no way to carry on the lineage. But if Cain was Adam's son, then wouldn't Adam's genealogy begin with Cain and not Seth?
And there, right on the back of the Machiavelli album, you can see it does not say Suge Knight, where it says executive producer. It says Simon. Go look it up. Go study. Simon was the brother of Jesus. He renamed him Peter. So they're putting all this Bible stuff. The real question I want y'all to think about, though, is why are they doing all this? Why? There's a reoccurring pattern going on here. You can see the twins right there in the word female and the word woman and the word human. What's been done over and over again is this reoccurring message has been put out there and no one's picking up on it.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us.
They're putting it all out there, so in the bitter end, no one's going to be able to say that they didn't warn you, that you weren't told. Remember how karmic retribution works. If you've been really following my channel, you know that they can't trick you. If you swallow the bullshit, that's on you. But they do put the truth out there, and that's the way this world works. As long as they tell you if you still eat the poison, you killed yourself. That's the way they believe. What did Jesus do? He died and came back from the dead alive. What did Machiavelli do? He faked his death, appeared to die and come back. In Hearts of Men, the song that Tupac put out, he says, I died and came back. In Blasphemy, he says, brothers getting shot, coming back resurrected. As in him and his twin brother. Hey, it's all out there, y'all. Whether you're paying attention or not, that's another question. Hey, and why is Pac talking about Judas and, Suge talking about his code name is Simon? Why are they bringing up these things from the Bible? They're bringing these things up because just think of the MGM. There was 2 twins and a body double. Just like in the fucking video that I made. Jesus and his twin brother, right? And Judas was there to sow confusion. The third guy, like Pac said in his video. What do you think he meant by spark the brain? These people put this information out there so someone would decode it. And by decoding it, dismantle the entire story and discredit it all. Because trust this, there are 2 versions of the Bible. The normal one you've heard about and the deciphered version. Where you start getting details like Judas's last name was Thomas and Thomas means twin. And you start learning gematria, the numbers underneath the Hebrew words. And how they also form symbols like Jesus makes an 11. Forming the symbol of the twins. Just like Gemini, just like the Twin Towers. Yeah. Just think about that fateful day and then look at those numbers up there on the screen. There is nothing new under the sun, you guys. Go look the saying up. You're being bitch slapped. Why do you think there's all these pictures of these celebrities with blood all over them? Taking photo shoots with little dead baby dolls, even the Beatles, who we thought were wholesome, right? Why? You know what I'm saying? I'm being rhetorical. I already know the reason why. Because they are rubbing it in. You're not going to be able to say that you didn't see it, that you weren't exposed to it, that they didn't tell you. Go read the fucking book of Job. God allowed them to test us. Right? Do it like everything in this video has been showing you and look up what Job means. J-O-B. It means persecution. That's why we all have a job. That's not a coincidence. And for you people out here talking about you're atheists and this doesn't apply to you, bull fucking shit, man. You are stuck in this matrix the same way the rest of us are, man. No matter what you rationalize, bro. The fucking proof is right underneath your nose, in fact. There is nobody that can deny any of this. It's all in our face, y'all. It's been in our paintings from the past. These gods eating their children. Listen, these gods eating their only begotten children. These paintings have been shoved in our faces for hundreds of years. Right? Why do you think in Luke 10:3 it says, "Behold, I send you forth as lambs amongst wolves"? Because they are out here, y'all. They are out here.
That was my little brother. His code name was Machiavelli, like mine is Simon. And if you know the story of Machiavelli, he faked his own death.
They like the Judas was to Jesus. They only here to cause confusion.
Mama said the seed was corrupted, used to rub her belly, begging us to breathe, and she love us.
And it's up to the world, you know. America eats its babies. No matter what y'all think about me, I'm still your child, you know.
We are the first species.
Pay attention, people. Pay attention.
To be aware of evolution, to be aware that we are affecting our own evolution by everything that we do. The babies we eat, the food we eat, the wars we fight. We are.
You don't drink the Kool-Aid. You don't drink the gold juice. So I was offered the gold juice 3 times in my 20s, my 30s, and
What's
my 40s.
that? Pee? A lot of golden showers in
The
Burbank.
gold juice that I will live forever and I'll have whatever I want. The gold juice. You never offered the gold juice?
No, I'm a scumbag comic. What's the gold juice?
I don't know, but I didn't drink it and I didn't want it. And
Is this in
I
a...
noticed when all the girls, certain girls on Orange changed. Yeah, it's a real thing. It's like a real thing. Like, it's all a real thing. And it's scary because they send, like, people after you and they can, like, kind of moonlight as, like, a friend or, you know, and they're wolf in sheep's clothing. And listen, you can have everything you want, all the fame in the world, all the money. I'm like, what if I just drank it? But then you know what I mean? Like, what if and I don't know what it is. If it's a metaphor for the gold juice, like, you feel what I'm saying?
Mostly.
And
if there's a tincture that makes you younger, I better know where. You better let me in on this. If adrenochrome's real, I'll be first in line. Adrenochrome's real, I'll be first in line. Adrenochrome's real, I'll be first in line.
Multiple gunshots lit a block, the fun stops.
Coincidence. Now, this is in regards to all of these celebrities being related to one another. I'm going to play you some clips of them even openly admitting, oh, I'm cousins with so-and-so, I'm cousins with so-and-so. Hillary's cousins with Madonna. I mean, this list of it's just unbelievable, right? You get the influencers and then you get the politicians. And they all just happen to be related, but they play dumb too. And they're like, oh yeah, what a coinky ding. I'm going to play you that clip now. It should be, underneath it, I should have some funny music underneath it, but I'm not going to put anything because it's comedy is what it is. So listen for yourself and listen to just some of these coincidences and I'll talk to you about it after.
So it turns out you're related to Angelina Jolie, and we found a picture that I couldn't believe. I don't know why we haven't seen this picture of you. Let's see Angelina first of all. And
I really admire what she's doing on behalf of charity and HIV/AIDS and a lot of work around the world. I've done some events with her, and she's
so it makes sense that y'all are related.
Well,
now this is the odd one, which I did not know. You're also cousins with Madonna.
That's true.
So, she refuses to acknowledge.
Is she not acknowledging it?
No,
Is she just not having it?
I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
And I am related to Kate Middleton. She is my 14th cousin, twice removed.
Okay, that's close enough.
I think so. It's
think
not like
so.
3 times removed. It's twice removed. So, and I'm related to Madonna and Halle Berry, and both of them embrace it.
Well, why wouldn't they?
Exactly, and why wouldn't Katie?
Well, indeed. We put you in the photograph with the royal family because we thought we should.
Isn't that wonderful?
You want to know who I'm related to?
Who are you related to?
Sarah Palin.
No.
That's what I said. In a
Fantastic.
twisted way, somebody sent me this information that she was my...
Has this been genealogically?
This is the Cloud
Yeah.
Atlas Continuum.
Blown away to find out today that you are related, in fact, to Abraham Lincoln. Your family is that true?
Yes.
That's so cool!
Yeah. Yeah, no, Nancy Hanks was Abraham Lincoln's mother. So, yeah.
Look at that!
He's yeah.
You've no doubt heard the old saying, politics makes strange bedfellows. Well, it also makes for some pretty strange family ties. Listen to this. It turns out that one of President Obama's toughest critics is actually his cousin. Claire Shipman shakes the family tree.
Turns out these two are more than just political enemies. They're having a family feud.
They're 10th cousins, which means that they share a common ancestor. So a man named John Smith, who was an early settler to Massachusetts.
Yes, you heard right. Barack Obama and Sarah Palin are cousins with a family tree that takes them back to one Mr. Smith of the 1600s.
Bernie Sanders was booked today. All coincidence. We didn't plan any of it. What I didn't realize was I didn't know y'all were really related for real.
Yes.
What's the connect?
We're second or third cousins. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
You feel that?
We go back to the old country. Yeah, I do. I feel a familial connection with him.
I want to break some news to you tonight. Our friends at Ancestry did some digging. You are related to Fred Rogers.
Impossible. No, you're pulling our leg.
All right.
Let's look at this.
How far away is it?
Wait, look at a Mefford.
I know, yeah, Mefford.
Oprah tried to say that you two are somehow, some way related.
Yeah, she said she actually researched it and found it to be true.
And that's something.
Some kind of Presley with a Winfrey hooked up somewhere along the line in the South. You know how it goes.
Cousin Oprah.
That's right.
Cousin Oprah would be proud.
Now, obviously, you could see how, in a sense, they play it down. And they pretend like, oh, I don't really know this person. Of course, they're going to do that. Some people would say, well, how would they let this information out? Why would they let this information out? Well, it's twofold. It's almost like saying, well, why did they let the internet happen if they knew that it wakes so many people up? Well, they need the internet, right? They need this type of technology out there, so it's a catch-22. There's pros and there's cons for them. This is the same type of thing with these Ancestry.coms and all these websites out there that show, who's related to who, because they want to get your DNA. So they get people to send in their DNA, and, that's what they want. They want your DNA. We have the Freemasons who are out there collecting children's DNA, the Masonic Child's ID program that they run, where they go around trying to say, well, this is to make sure kids don't get kidnapped. Okay, they want everybody's DNA. That's very, very clear. But it's just amazing.
So, in early Canaan, we had the Sumerians. In later Canaan, we had the Phoenicians. And the Phoenicians spoke Hebrew. Language is sound. And we get that term, phonics, phonetics, and telephone, from the Phoenicians. Phonetically, these two phrases are the same. And we know that sound is frequency. And the word was God. So if you ignore the phonics and separate these two by definition, then you are deaf Phoenician. This is Yod-He-Vav-He. But we read it Yod-He-Vav-He, making it completely inverted. And then we started saying Yahweh. They both symbolize men and women. Combining them together gives you this symbol. And then take away the outside. And there you have it. The signature of who did this. The Canaanites claim that they are the
bloodline of Cain, the corrupt seed of the serpent. Moloch, the god of child sacrifice, wants children because they have medicinal properties inside of their blood when they're that young. Immortals don't want sex with these children. They want their blood, literally. The Bible says the life is in the blood, the kind you can get wise from drinking because you won't die. And through this process, they can stay young and vital, cheating death for centuries.
When the plot helped me survive several centuries.
Why else did he just say he survived several centuries for?
Babylon, beware. Coming for the Pharaoh's kids. Retaliation, making legends off the shit we did.
Making legends off the shit we did.
Check this out. That's right, as you can see, this Masonic temple is actually MTV's studio.
I believe the line is, I can do this all day long. Enjoy.
Iconic characters of history, of course, are certainly literature, classic literature, physical demands, the research, the personalization of the character. He himself is, as Homer shapes him, we never quite know where he is until the end. He does this really interesting thing of where you believe you know who.
Entertainment purposes, of course. I don't really think Hollywood or government would ever purposely try to deceive us. No, they're straight shooters. Entertainment only.
Hey, look at his neck, y'all. That's a mask attached to his neck.
Do you still not realize that they're all playing multiple roles? And I'm not just talking this guy. I'm talking all of them. Why don't we take a look at two supposedly different individuals in Benicio del Toro and Brad Pitt? They look kind of similar, right? Kind of real similar, even in their younger years. But that's all it is, right? Similarity. They just have similar features. They couldn't possibly be the same person, right? Well, let's take a closer look and see what we can find. Did you ever see when Benicio won an Oscar? He kind of runs like somebody I know. I don't know, there's just some similarities to it. Maybe it's just me. Although he does celebrate as he's being handed an Oscar. Oh, and did you see who just happened to hand him that Oscar? Brad Pitt's wife, and she just happens to be looking very adoringly at Benicio and seems pretty chummy with him for photos. But again, it's just coincidence. I'm making too much of this. Kind of like the coincidence of them sitting very identically and having the exact same mannerisms. And did you know they both just happen to be known for eating food a lot in their movie roles?
You handle food better on screen than anybody I've seen. And I want it.
But why would they do this, you're probably asking yourself. Why would they go through the trouble? I'll tell you. It's to give you the most skewed sense of reality possible. So you don't know left from right, and up from down, and round from flat, and you have to ask them and rely on them for all the answers, because then they have all the power. So the sooner you realize this is a reality and this is a reality, the sooner your mind is open to what reality actually is, and you can take your power back. That's what I did, and I feel better than ever. And of course, this is all for entertainment purposes. These guys are probably just from the same genetic line, way, way back from that English king that all the presidents are related to. Entertainment purposes only.
There are two different kind of people. There are people that believe, you know, they read that book and they were told, hey, you might be in the presence of angels, so be careful. And then there are people that don't believe at all, right? You can't even see this if you don't believe in the possibility, right? Look at Aaliyah right there, totally alive, as Natalie LaRose. She's showing up to the makeup thing, all that, stalking it. Why is this blood all over DMX? Why is Post Malone and this other dude got blood all over them? Is this just art, y'all? Pete Davidson? They just doing art? How are these dead people walking the earth if none of this is real? How is there was the same exact teeth? This man has the same teeth as a dead man. And the way Yaki Gaddafi plays Charlie Tuna now, Amy Winehouse now plays Lady Gaga. Probably played both of them simultaneously when they were both alive. Blah, blah, blah. Right? And this is a woman that we're not told was being chased by the government, fighting the Illuminati. She wasn't a Black Panther, but she dipped out too, right? Because they all faked their deaths. That's just some bullshit excuse that was attached to that story. Yeah, just like Xena LaVey, the high priestess of the Satanic Church that's supposed to be dead that plays Taylor Swift now. Look at the uncanny resemblance there. It's the same person. There's literally an entire hidden world right beneath our noses.
Just stay tuned. I'm gonna be on there. I know how to act.
Surviving Hollywood, Kodak Black.
Hey, crack the code with me. Is this demonic possession, or is these kids possessed? Are they replaced eventually by the real demons? How does it work? I think these children doppelgangers are found and manufactured by these demons. I think that's how it works.
Mama said the seed was corrupted, used to run my belly, begging us to breathe. And she the seed was corrupted, used to run my belly, begging us to breathe. And she the seed was corrupted, used to run my belly, begging us to breathe. And she love us.
This entire Tupac story was copying the Bible from day one. The twins, the deciphered version of the Bible. Get behind me, Satan, Jesus said to Peter, who he renamed Peter, used to be named Simon, his brother. That's why Suge says my little brother, Machiavelli, and they call me Simon. Hey, the world's run by these things, and this is exactly why you need to be saved. It is dead serious. It's very real.